All right, let's maybe skip this one. These aren't just ambient, they're dark. There we go. That's general ambiance. Okay, so we need to move this one over. Whoops. I spelled ladies wrong. Oh, it's the sleep. It'll do it to you. It'll get you. I do know how to spell ladies. I promise. Oh, whoops. Oh, dang it. I need to get the Twitch channel. Come on, Twitchy, Twitchy. Do it. Whoops. There we go. Whoops. Nope. Dang it. Come on. Come on, Twitch. Come on, Twitch. I didn't have the link prepared ahead of time. Wait, I've got the link right here. Why didn't I use the link that I have right here? Gosh, I print it out in the thing every time for a reason. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, so let me just post this. Come on. Doing my little red dot here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to throw red dot here. Bump. I'm going to throw this... we're gonna tweet about it. Let's put up a little tweet about it. Ah, there we are. Well, that'll be nice. Just fine. Just fine. And this has... No, there's no node in this. It's just JavaScript. I think the timer has probably run out, but it's okay. I'm going to keep going with this for a second and make sure I get this posted. Plus, maybe it'll give people a chance to tune in before we get started. It's always nice when people get a chance to tune in before we get started. Because, you know, people tune in after the thing happened, then... Alright, so what I left with this morning... was working CoinJoin. So I'll see if I can reproduce that. Oh, and this is not helpful. Hold on. Let's get the other thing up on the screen that's the helpful thing up on the screen. All right, got the chat window up. I'm going to flicker the timer here and give myself a little more time. You probably won't take it all, but I'm just going to flicker the timer. All right, so... we got this cash drawer thing. I think I'm going to leave this one up on the screen. Is this the one? Oh, hold on. I may need to do a little refresh fresh. How did I do that this morning? Okay, so we got a run CoinJoin button here now, which we will try. Now, this is going to need some more work to get some polish on it, a lot of things, but, yeah, I was able to successfully run CoinJoin on testnet, and it would run on mainnet just fine. In fact, I might try to demo that and just send a little bit to myself or something. But let's see. I am still sleep deprived. I'm not operating at 1,000%. I can tell you that much. Wait, why is it? No, over here. Camera. Focus. Pocus. Focus on me. On me. Can we get... There we go. There's the focus pocus. Yeah, its focus zone was over here, which you can't even see anything over there. I don't know why, but... Okay, so we've got this up. I did the poll. I'm very sleep deprived, but I'm also sleep deprived in a state where I can't sleep. So, oh well, oops. I guess I'll sleep well tonight. That's the theory. But we'll go ahead and get this thing done. So as a demonstration here, let's see. Do we really have all that Monenes? I guess we do. Oh yeah, we got a 10 there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press the button. Go. So we've got the... I don't know how you pronounce it. I've never heard it pronounced. Geisel greens? Seems like it should have a better pronunciation than that. Gasal greens? They're workalicious. That's the t-shirt for the day. And what we're doing here, wait a minute. Sorry, there's one more thing that apparently isn't working. I'm going to go fix this. Our OC remix is not loaded. Stop. Where are you? Oh, apparently there's a thing that popped up behind. Okay, and then this. Okay, this. All right, so we need to switch it to musics. Cool. And yeah, we don't need to do too much more than that. All right, so that's up there. I think the chat's correct. Let's double check on the chat real quick. Yeah, it says chat should be here. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if it's loading, so I'm gonna do that trick that I did last time, where why are okay, something's going on with my computer. I'll probably have to restart it in a few days. Also, something's going on with OBS. Maybe that's related, maybe it's not related, but I can't get into the properties of the chat in order to check them. So we're just going to do without. Okay, so I can see the chat over here on my other screen. The chat's not going to show up down here. Whatever, we won't worry about it. But what we've got going on is I kind of want to take this from scratch. Shall I take it from scratch? Maybe I will. Maybe I will take it from scratch. Let me open up a Diffner browser. Let's see if I can find a Diffner browser to open up. This is an alright browser to open up. Sure, we'll do this one. Alright, so we got Banana Browser. We open up for the first time, and it says balance is low, fill up at CrowdNode or DCG faucet. Okay. So here's our wallet phrase. There is no salt. That's just being left blank for now. It's placeholder. There is no account. The salt is an empty string. There's always a salt. It's just the empty string. This is the wallet seed that's generated from those two things. That's the HD account. And if we wanted, there's a list of addresses down here, and we could export a private key if we need to do something. I've done that while I've been debugging. So there's kind of wallet stuff up here. I was thinking about turning that more into a list where you could view the wallet or whatever, or maybe up here. I don't know. Anyway, and then we have coins. There are no coins. You can send Dash, you can send a memo, you can check out your cache drawer where you have your preferences. We're going to set all of these to 0 for a minute. And we're going to zero out all of this as well over here. So let's make the priority for all of these 0. So it does a mix of it will try, it'll walk the priority and round robin anything that's the same, and it will do what's up? I'm working. Mm-hmm. Camera's on. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to say is that I want to get at least, let's say, 5 of these. No, the priority is we're going to put our priority. I mean, these are arbitrary numbers. Higher is better. So number 1 is lower. Number 0 is lowest. You can't go negative on this arbitrarily. I mean, we could make it floats or negative numbers or string, whatever. It just comparables. But anyway, so let's put the priority something like this for now. So we'll say I want one of those, and normally I'd never want any of these, but for the purpose of testing, I do want some of those. So we're going to say this is the priority. So first it's going to try to get these, and then it will round robin between these two to try to get those. So let's say I want to get 5 of these. I want to get 5 of these. I want to get 5 of these. That's 15 things that it's going to try to get total. You can see that we need 5. We have 0 of them all. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take some unused payment addresses, and we are going to go to, import bookmarks now. I don't want bookmarks showing here. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to ignore that for now. So we're going to go both crowd node and DCG faucet. So here's the crowd node faucet. I'll go ahead and use my nice little AI thing because it's better than I am half the time. So much for CAPTCHA. And then, oh, wow. Ooh, a hefty sum. Okay. And then we'll go back here. We'll go to the dash faucet. Enter in dash address. I'm not a robot. Bicycles. Can I correctly identify bicycles? That's best I got. I find that giving it less effort and being less precise seems to work better. All right, so now I'm going to click Get Coins, and the way we'll know that it works is if it fails. And then we get the money anyway. So I'm going to go put this off to the side right now so that it doesn't, so that it stays in focus as a front window on a different screen. And then we're going to go back over here, and I don't have anything set up yet to be able to automatically listen to balance updates. So that is doable. I've done that before. But there's our coins. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on the Denominate Coins button. And the reason the button's down here, because it has to do with the cash drawer. And we could set preferences for this and then not have to worry about it, whatever. But I'll go ahead and click Denominate Coins. Do you want to send this amount? Notice the amount. 0.01 to this address. Okay. And we're not going to get a chance to scroll down, but you'll see that these are changing in just a second. 0.01. Okay, so it's going to do all 5 of the 0.01s first. 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01. And this is all instant send stuff. So it is doing the updates, and you can see down here that the wallet's updating spent addresses. So it's immediately assuming that instant send is going to work, and then just using whichever address that it wants to use that it just sent to split this out. Of course, I could do that in a single payment, but for what I was doing here, I didn't do it where we take one coin and then we split it up into as many coins as possible. I did it that we siphon off some amount from one coin. Mathematically, in some cases, one is better. In some cases, the other is better. But yeah, I mean, for this demo, I have it doing it that way. Now you'll notice that it's alternating between 001 and 0.1. And it is probably important that we're taking several hundred milliseconds, in many cases several seconds, to click the button, just because that gives it time for the mempool to propagate so that these actually land. Because if we were to click them as fast as possible, if we were to have no millisecond delay, then they probably wouldn't all work because they wouldn't have propagated into the mempools. Well, they'll be in the mempool of the node we're connecting to for this. Which this is grabbing the master node list. It's using it's using trpc.digitalcash.dev to is it M&O list, master node? There it goes, master node list. So it fetches this, and then it uses this, and then it pulls from them kind of semi-randomly. Well, right now it's all using the RPC. When we get to the actual CoinJoin, that's what it will be using. Now, you will notice that this is not fully updating yet. Some of the stuff is updating, some of the stuff is not. You can see we've used 15 addresses here. You can see that we have unused payment addresses, unused change addresses. And then, did I put how many there are there? I don't think I should put the number there just for debugging purposes. This is all obviously more of a debugging oriented interface. This is not a product we're going to ship out to anybody, especially not with everything. I think that this could become ship outable if we have some navigation that switches between tabs and stuff. So I may try to get to that point. But right now I just got everything on a single page. Okay, so what you can see is that now we have these various amounts. They're sorted from most to least, and they're also sorted after that is all the CoinJoinable coins are up top. And then the non-denominated, the denominated coins are up top in bold italics, and then the other coins are down below. So we could just for me to show how this works, we could also take a coin. Let's see, we're going to take this one and we want to send 2.02, or, you know, let's go 2's all the way down. You know, we want to send 2222223. Okay, so let's say that we want to send that to this address. We can select what coins we want to use to do a send. We can also not select a coin and have it select by itself. I don't know if I have it implemented which way it prefers the coins right now. I know that it prefers by value, but I don't know if it prefers or excludes by denomination at this point. But anyway, we can click that. Do you really want to send it to that address? Yes. And then you can see, boom, it updates. Okay, so we've done denomination. We've done some manual stuff. One other thing that I wanted to show is sending a memo. So we can take a memo. We'll put in the string hello world. We could also put in hex here. And we can just send a memo, and it's just going to pick a small coin and it's going to use it. So it'll probably pick one of these, or maybe it'll pick this one and do some change. I don't remember, like I said, whether it's distinguishing between denominated coins or not quite yet. But we'll do this. Boom. And that should have asked me if it wanted to send a memo, but I guess I have something wrong, that since I last tested it, I've messed something up. TXinfo inputs is not iterable. Yeah. So that's okay. That's not what I was here to demonstrate today. But we will need this window open. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this window open, because you may notice we've got a bunch of DSQs and stuff. So this has actually been connecting to the CoinJoin network. And this is all just debugging for me. So you can see there's a bunch of resubs, and the resubs are the, I don't know why it's showing it like that rather than showing it in line, but it's, there's a listener that's in a loop that's resubscribing to a particular event. We can see we got a bunch of DSQs. And so this amount, I'm trying to remember. So that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a whole 1. So we want something that's lower than that. So, okay, here we go. So it looks like there's some queues open right now on this node that's been picked. And so what we're going to do is we are going to select something that looks like it's already got a queue open. It looks like the smallest, the second smallest, and the third smallest have queues open. So with the way this is implemented right now, you can't cross between different denominations and have it do in different pools. So if I click different denominations, requires all denominations to, you know, so it checks that they're denominated and whatnot. But let's go towards the lower end. Let's pick 2 of these of the smaller variety. And actually, let's pick 2 of these of the mid variety there. And then I'm going to go down, I'm going to go to run CoinJoin. And for this, the UI is not worked out yet, and there's a lot of stuff that still has to be debugged. Or there's it's more complex than these other interactions because it's not just a send request, get response. There's some abstraction that has to happen over a cycle that I think has at least 7 messages back and forth in it. And then there's some waiting period because you don't know whether there's a pool currently open. But here we can see there's a number of pools currently open. It looks like there's more pools open on larger denominations. So let me bump that up to a 0.1. There we go. And then we'll see if we get lucky and we get in a pool right away. So I'm going to click Run CoinJoin. And then we're only going to see the results of that in the browser. And of course, it's not working, which may mean that that there is a line of code that is committed on my other computer that's not committed here, or that there's some difference in some way. So I'm looking at this error. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab my other computer that I tested this on a few hours ago and just see if maybe I forgot to commit something. Also, before I even do that, I'll just check to see if there's an obvious problem that I can find. So let's look at wallet app 348. TX info. That does seem strange. It says it's not iterable. It says inputs is not iterable. So there's possible that when I committed, I deleted a line for debugging, but actually deleted this instead. It could be that did I not select? I selected. Let's see. So this is doing a sign memo to get the collateral. Oh, so we may not have coins that are small enough for collateral. I think that's actually what's happening. I don't think that it's a code problem. I think that it is a we may not have the collateral. So let's do this. We're going to do 2 things here. One is we're going to split this down into, I believe the collateral amount is in this range. So we'll do, let's say 1.3. And then we'll pick an address to send that to that's currently unused. And we need to have a few of these collateral addresses. I don't have the collateral in the denomination code because the collateral is not a specific denomination. It's just greater than a specific fee value. And so it's just a different set of logic. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick. Oh, okay, and I see what it's doing there. Oh, you know what? We're just going to cancel this out because it's reading in the wrong values because the state hasn't been refreshed again, because the demo for this is not. I'm just going to cancel all these. It's going to go through all 15 of them again. I need to refresh the browser in the current state. I could adjust the code so that after it does this action, it updates the cache drawer information. But right now, it's not updating the cache drawer information that gets recalculated. When the page first loads, it goes through and it sorts all the coins in the wallet. And so I think that's where that's getting left off. So I'm going to go ahead and just refresh the page. And then unfortunately, that typically makes the WebSocket, it puts the WebSocket in a bad state because you need to properly close the WebSocket, and I don't have retry on it. So that immediately puts the WebSocket in a bad state because it was connected to a session, then it's getting another session. So we have to actually refresh this a couple of times. And the way that I know, we can put some UI on here. Well, one, we can just get the retry in effect so that if the WebSocket stops connecting, it just starts connecting instead. But what we can see here is that the WebSocket connection is failing. Okay, did we get that time? No. All right, so that's a little bit strange. Okay, now the WebSocket connection worked. So I'm not quite sure what the nature of the finickiness is, but I believe that's when you're doing a browser refresh, you're doing a hard disconnect, and the P2P protocol, I don't think likes hard disconnects. I think it likes graceful disconnects. So now we've got this coming in again, so that's good. And now we should see... Okay, so what have we got here? Again, it looks like we're tending towards the larger side. So I'll pick some of the larger inputs that we have right here. And then I'm not sure if the one I wanted to go through actually went through. Let me go ahead and try this again, because I think something got a little bit off there. Let me make sure that this address didn't get used. Okay, good. Because there is a limbo state that addresses can get in with the current demo code. Because again, it's, you know, the purpose was to get to CoinJoin as quickly as possible. So let me just go ahead and take this one again, and we're going to do 0.00013. We'll do that send. Okay, and now for some reason, okay, no, that makes sense. That's working. Good. Okay, so now we see that there, and then I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to pick a different address. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm actually going to do it a couple more times because we're going to need at least 2 of those, but we might need a few more. So you can also use multiple coins in the collateral, if I remember correctly. I think I've done that before. The rules on the collateral are pretty loose. It basically just needs to be something that has a high fee. And I'm pretty sure that it doesn't even calculate the fee against what it's supposed to be. So you could just take a normal transaction and use it as collateral if the fee's high enough. I think that with the current prices, you would always have to artificially inflate the fee, because I don't think you can get up to a fee of 10. Is that? I think it might be 100,000. Anyway. Okay, so, all right, now we've got all that. And since, you know, things are in a good state over here, it's connected. I don't want to try to disconnect it. It looks like those DSQs have been stale for a little while, but we'll try anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and click, let's see, what's the latest DSQ we got? DSQ is the message that lets us know, okay, false, 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 false. So it looks like there's a bunch of clients trying to create DSQs, but it looks like they are not being successful. So let's go ahead and try to join in. Again, we'll try these 2 coins here. We'll try to join in with those coins and do 1 round of mixing on them. And we'll see what happens. Same denomination. Oh, whoops, did I mix denominations here? I sure did. Look at that. All right, so let's get a few more of these ones because I think those were more popular. So we need 0.1. I don't see as many as I was expect to see there. Again, the calculation might be a little bit off. I'm just going to go ahead and put 7 here for that. Tell it denominate the coins. Yes. Wait a second. Yes. Wait a second. Yes. Okay. So now I should be able to 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's not finding all of them. Again, this is not a big deal. It also may have marked them already as sent because we started the CoinJoin process on them and something else may have happened. But anyway, we'll see what we can get to. All right, now we're getting more DSQ messages. Excellent. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and click Run CoinJoin. And inputs is not iterable. Okay, so I'm going to go, now at this point, I'm going to go grab my other computer so that we can actually get this demo done and see if maybe I had like a little, well, also debug undefined. That doesn't make sense. All right, I will just try real quick before I get that. Let me see if I can just, okay, it's got connected again. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to select these. We know that we have some inputs that would work. Okay, we can see there's a glitch in the system because it found that down there. That might be part of it. And the way to get rid of that problem is just to find, okay, so this one, it looks like it may have, yeah, I tried to use that one twice. The way to get rid of that problem is just to use that coin. So we're going to go ahead and send that coin to another coin. And we'll send it in a very small amount, 0.000013. Okay. Yep. All right, there we go. And then I'll do that with another one as well, maybe. So this of course can be automated just like it is in the regular wallet, but for the purposes of debugging, this is where we're at right now. And then let me just pick another one here. I'll pick this one, send that amount to this address. Yep. And what it's failing on presently is it's failing to make the collateral, which makes, I don't know if that makes sense or not, actually. I don't know what to think of that because it was working this morning, right? Okay. So inputs are not iterable, but now I should at least be getting yes. Okay. Small change. TX info. This is, yes. Okay. So this, doesn't have the latest version of one of the dependencies. That's what the problem is. There was a bug in one of the dependencies. I fixed the bug in the dependencies, fixed the code that it relies on, and then that dependency needed to be reinstalled. So now that dependency is reinstalled, so we're going to try this yet another time. All right, good. We got connected. So here we are with these two. That was the difference in the code. And then we'll try to run CoinJoin. Boom. So we're trying it, and what the letter L? Hold on. It's also possible that we have a caching problem. Let me see. Okay, this is the correct code. So now we have a little bit of a caching problem. So I just need to hard refresh a few times. All right, now I've hard refreshed a few times. Now, hopefully, it'll really work. We'll see. Run CoinJoin. Okay, and we are getting further. Okay, so we got past that problem. And we just have to wait. We have to wait for there to be a pool that we can join. So right now, somebody else is requesting a pool of a smaller amount. Oh, okay. Now there's a pool that it looks like we'll be able to join. And then once we actually join the pool, it'll be boom, 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 boom. It'll go really fast. So you don't see it in the UI yet. I don't have a way to show how many rounds something has been mixed. In fact, I don't even have the HD paths set up correctly. But boom, it happened. That was it. It worked. So let's see what coin this was, and we can trace its history. Let's see, there's the DSF. I think I selected 2 coins. But the coins we get back are what's important. So let's see. Probably the coins that are at the top of the list. They're still there. Yeah, and this didn't, and I don't have this updating the table with the CoinJoin refreshes, but that happened. Let me see if we can find out. This is the DSF. So that's inputs and outputs. So what we want to check is outputs. And unfortunately, I don't think I have it debug printing the outputs when the DSC happens, which would be nice. Or maybe I do. Let's take a look at this address and see what... We'll go to the RPC Explorer, and we'll do get address deltas, and then we'll do addresses. Whoops. Oh, that already had the quotes on it. So it does need to be an array of arguments. Now let's go ahead and click try it. Also, this is how we could do it in the browser like that. And then it shows us, yeah, that address was just used. I'm going to go to Insight because it has some graphical tools that we don't have yet and may never have, because I think being able to trace the history of something, being able to look from one to the next is kind of important. Okay, let's hope that it's working, because it doesn't always work. No matching records found. So blocks, transactions, or coin. Oh, it's got the quotes on it. Can't have the quotes on it here. Okay, cool. So here's the CoinJoin transaction, and we could look back and we can see which of these is a used address. So we got YU, YA, YR, YH. And we could trace this back to our wallet. Which, you know, of course, it's not what you're supposed to do with CoinJoin transactions. But the reality of the situation is we can certainly trace the coins in our own wallet because we have the full history of all the coins we've used. There would be a way to not preserve that history, but I don't necessarily think it's the right approach. I think the HD wallet is a really good approach. I think for some people, having an ephemeral, coins being in an ephemeral state, meaning that they could get lost, they could get deleted, they could become unrecoverable, is desirable. So I'd have to look at the two side by side to really see here. Let me pull this over and see what we can find. Okay, YU, YA, YR, YAL, FSP, no, YRQ. Should probably just do these one at a time to find it. Or we can just do it the easy way. Okay, was that it? Was that? So that's the, wait, that's the old one or that's the new one? Let me refresh the page here. Because this, yeah, this may not have had, okay, now, there we go. Spent addresses. Wait, I don't know. We just had this on the screen, so we know it was, anyway. Well, you did see that address came up, and that address is no longer showing up, which means that it's a spent address, but because it's a denomination, it might be sorted out from the regular pool here. Because there is still, as you saw earlier, there is still a little bit of a bug with that in the demo application. Anyway, the point is, if you did a fresh install of this, which I did not do, that was my problem, is that I had the old version of the dependency still installed. If you did a fresh install of this, you can walk through these steps and you can have CoinJoin for yourself. All right. So let me try one more time, and we're just going to try to do this more quickly. So we can link to this end of video thing. So I'm going to open up another wallet. All right, so do it again. Balance too low. Please fill out a crowd node and or DCG. So we're going to go. So this is from the start. There's wallet stuff. There's coin stuff. There's send to address, send memo. There's cash drawer stuff. We're going to set our cash drawer really low. So we only need, I'm just going to say we need 0 of these. We need 2 of these. That's all we really need. And then let's say that we have, we'll do 3 of these, and then the collateral, we don't have a way to do that yet. So we'll put in 2, but I don't know what actually is going to happen with that. It might error out and might have to put it to 0. So we'll go to payment addresses. We'll go to the crowd node faucet. Paste that in. Use AI image recognition to do the CAPTCHA, because it's going to be better than we are. All right, we got sent some dash. That's really all that we need to get started. We have to refresh because this doesn't yet automatically get new information about wallet changes. We're going to create, we'll go ahead and run denominate coins. So do you really want to send this? Yep, I do. Yep, I do. Just having the time to click on it allows it to have enough time to propagate through the mempool. Does that pretty quickly. It goes through by priority. If 2 things are of the same priority, it'd round robin. We showed that in the past. Okay, so now we have all of these available for doing CoinJoin. Let me refresh here. And it looks like one's missing from there, so it's probably an off by 1 error. Anyway. Wait, did I select the right one? Here, I'm going to run this again. Denominate coins. Yes. Okay. So now we've got the other. I don't know. Anyway. So now we have some coins to work with. We need something that's small enough to be used as collateral. So I'm just going to send 0.00013. Send that. That should be enough for collateral. I'm going to pick another one. We're going to send this one as well. Yep. And then I'll do one more for good measure, just so that we've got plenty of collateral here. And you'll notice that this time I'm not selecting which coins to use. I could select which coins to use. It's going to use this one, the 7, because I'm pretty sure. Because that's the smallest one that's enough. So it doesn't have to break a lot of change. Yeah, and that turned into a 6. So that's the one that it's siphoning off of. All right, so with that all done, now we have enough coins for collateral. We have denominated coins that will work for CoinJoin. So we'll go ahead and we'll select denominated coins. And then we'll scroll back down to our cash drawer and do run CoinJoin, but not before I bring up our handy dandy, oops, debug console, because I just don't have the alert to say, I don't have a spinner to say this is in progress. It may take a few minutes or whatever. And currently we're not connected to the P2P network just because of, again, the way that when the browser refreshes and it tries to keep state on the TCP socket, because that's the way the browser works, and it's expecting something on the other end to be a little bit more friendly to, you know, web process. But this is nothing that we can't overcome by just having a retry loop when the socket fails, especially when it's the same tab reloaded. If we open up a new tab, if we close this tab and open up a new tab, then it won't. It's browser internals. It's just trying to be efficient, and it's assuming that it's a web server on the other end. We're not doing a web server. We're proxying to the P2P network. Anyway, so all right, so that's running again now, which is great. So now we're going to click Run CoinJoin. Oh, you have to select the coins. I didn't select the coins. So go ahead and select 2 coins to do as part of this CoinJoin. And then here we are. So it's well on its way. So we can see that it submitted the DSA, it signed collateral, it's got the collateral submitted, and at this point, we're just waiting for it to be picked up in the queue, and that can take 30 seconds. So, and that's just normal. You know, on the desktop, this happens in the background, you don't have to worry about it. We can make it so that in the web, it happens in the background, and you don't have to worry about it. So, oh, DSF, I see DSF. So that's usually a good sign. Something may have gone wrong though. Oh no, it's subbing for DSF. So that means that what may be happening is one of the other test clients is taking a long time to make its submission. So we may have to run this again. This happens sometimes, especially on testnet. You're going to have cases where other clients are doing the same thing that we're doing here, where, well, I don't know exactly how it all works, but, they're testing stuff too. And so they're connecting and disconnecting. And so sometimes, and I saw the DSSU updates, which are state updates right there, although that wasn't printed out, what the state update was. I thought that I had that debug print out what the state update is, but apparently not. Let me see if I can filter by DSSU and see. It only shows us that it got the update. I don't have it printing out what the update was, but that very well may have been a rejected. So let's just go ahead and refresh, make sure that we still have some small coins for collateral. We still got these, and we'll just try again. So as long as we're connected, we're not connected. Okay, now we're connected. So go ahead and select some coins again. I'll click Run CoinJoin. And then just a few minutes ago, you saw that the DSC message came through. It was complete. We saw our address being used in obviously a CoinJoin transaction. So yeah, right now I'm not seeing a lot of DSQ messages. So this is just kind of the nature of the beast. In a more production scenario, we would actually be connecting to 10 master nodes at random at a time, or so, you know, in the realm of half a dozen to a dozen. And we would actually be aware of which queues are available, so we'd know how likely it is. I thought about putting a table in here, but I just can't right now with the time that I have. But I thought about, I'd like to put in a table that shows which queues or how many queues are open and whatnot. But it looks like the queues that are opening are just not the same size. So I think we may have gotten rejected again. And it could be that I'm not handling something right, but I'm seeing a bunch of DSQs false. All right, so let's just try. We'll just try joining again. We'll try joining in on this one this time. Do we have any DSQs that are really small? That one might be the size. All right, so we're going to use some more collateral. And let's see what happens. And I removed a bunch of debugging when I committed this, but it did show more of what the message details were. All right, come on, ping and pong. I think we're just not getting we're not getting DSQs that are of the right size. I think that's what's happening here. So we got some inventories. So I think that we're basically timing out because we're not doing the pooling correctly that would get us those best results. So I'm going to go ahead and denominate some more coins. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, we want 2 of these if we can, which I think we can. We want 4. No, keep with just 3 of these. 3 of these. Whoops, not 33. Yeah, let's go up to like 5 of these, maybe 4 of these. We'll just get some more variety in here, and then we'll denominate the coins again. And then I'm going to refresh and try again, and we'll try to look for some DSQs and try to join in on something. Okay. So this one is, I think that's a full 1. So let me just try and see if I can join that right now. Okay, I think we joined into that pool. Let's see, I don't see any trues yet. I'm going to open up another browser window too and just do the same thing, but join in from another pool so that we have another connection. And maybe see if I can just play CoinJoin with myself. So just to increase the chances of there being enough parties in the pool to participate. All right, run CoinJoin over there. Have we got any success over here? So we're listening for DSF, which means that we may just be dealing with other clients that are not timely. Or the DSSU may have been... we may have gotten kicked out. We may also have gotten kicked out because of the IP address may have had too much restart traffic. So that kind of stinks, but the good news is you saw it work before. So hopefully you can believe that it does work. And then, let's see, what did I just select over here? I selected the only one that I have. Let me go ahead and get a few more ones over here. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, we're gonna have all sorts of problems trying to run 2 of these at the same time. Actually, now that I think about it, actually, because it doesn't randomize at all, so they're going to be pulling from the same addresses if I do have this work out the way that I'd like. So we'll see. Yeah, I wish that it were simpler to show this the second time around. But that's the nature of the beast with this right now, with it not being in the optimal state that it would, could, should be. All right, so that's doing something over there. I'm going to restart this one and see if I can get this one reconnected. Okay. And then I'm going to select some different coins that are the same denomination. Those were double zeros. So let's get down to the double zeros. We'll select the highest double zeros that we have. And we'll see if we can run those. And between the two browsers, hopefully, we won't have to worry about other people joining in. All right. Yes, so this is the problem that we are running. Yeah, okay. So let me explain what happened here. Both of the browsers put in... Let me try it from a different browser, not the same wallet. Let's try that. So, oops. The wallets were in an inconsistent state. And that's what happened. So let's get to another wallet. Okay. Let's get to where this one's good and connected. Okay, there we go. This one's good and connected. Let's refresh this one so it's good and connected. So there's only one instance of the wallet open at a time, because if we're running CoinJoin from both wallets. All right, and of course I got rate limited. Ain't it always the way? Give me a second. All right. Okay, there we go. Boom. Now both of these are online. Let's go ahead and select from both wallets some amounts that are similar. So I've got O1s over here. Let me make sure I've got some O1s over here. So I've got some O1s over here. All right. So we're going to go ahead, run CoinJoin with that. And then run CoinJoin with this. And of course it's not. Of course it's not. Because this needs to be refreshed. Of course it does. Of course it does. Okay. And it probably needs a hard refresh so that the cache gets cleared, because this one hasn't had its cache cleared. Okay, there we go. So now we go back over here, and it was 0.01 was what we wanted. All right, so hopefully we make it within the window. Yes! Okay, sweet! Woo! It worked. Okay, so it worked. All right, so yeah. once they actually got both, you know, there's several different queues, and this problem does become bigger when we start talking about cash send, the possibility of cash send CoinJoin. But with the software's properly written, not just for a quick demo, when the software's properly written, then, you know, it works out. So anyway, this was our DSF message. We sent our DSS message, and then we received back our DSC message, meaning that it is complete. So CoinJoin worked. And then in this browser, yeah, it worked in this browser too. So the two different browsers, they did it with themselves. That's it. That's our demo. Maybe we can cut out that middle part there, where I was just going back and forth for, you know, just as much time as everything else. But yeah, that's it. We've got CoinJoin in the browser. Now we're going to need, obviously, we want to get this to a point where, well, I want to get this to a certain point as a developer tool, because I think the developer tools and user tools are a little bit different. Developers, we want lots of information. We want to be able to see everything. I want a table for every type of value. I want to be able to see the pools. I want to be able to see the coins. I want to be able to see how many rounds they've done. I want to have tables for all that stuff. And I want to be able to have additional logs. I want to be able to see pathways of things. Now, anyway, we don't need to go too crazy on that right now, but there's more stuff that I want to have in here. But, you know, Jojo is going to be fixing this up, or more likely creating an entirely separate project from this that is the CoinJoin or integrating the CoinJoin into the wallet he's been working on, or however that's going to work. But it's going to be something that's pretty, right? So if we go to the current wallet, we'll just do generate new wallet. All right, I backed up the seed phrase. No, I don't want to encrypt it. Wait, how do I turn off encryption? I don't want to encrypt it. Dang it. Okay. Secret. Okay. So you can see, you know, this one has a little bit more polish to it, more modern look. So, yeah, there's some dev tools and there's some user-focused tools, and there's maybe some happy medium where we can both get what we want. But I definitely want strictly developer tooling, because I think a lot of times user tooling turns out to look like it's made for babies, and you can't get any information out of it or do anything with it other than whatever it is that the next button gives you. You know, it's like watching a movie as opposed to playing a video game. So Final Fantasy VII versus Final Fantasy VII Remake. One, you're playing the game. Other one, watching the movie, and you hit the next button. Same thing. You know, like, I want to be able to get in here and see this stuff and know what's going on and understand it, be able to get in and debug. Also, one last thing before we go. Let's go look at the code. I am really happy with the way that this has been turning out. So actually, we won't look at it here. We'll look at it on the web browser. Let me go ahead and close this out. And where'd that other web browser go? Here it is. I don't know why my stuff's being so slow. But we'll go take a look at, this is not -tx, this is dash, there's going to be -p2p. Right now, this is -join. But -p2p will be its own library shortly. And then we're going to go look at this branch that is the WebSocket branch. We're going to go look under public. The code's not organized. In the file and folder structure is not properly organized yet. But we go into here and we have wallet app and create CoinJoin session. Now, whether you're a developer or not, I want you to see this, and I hope that this is enlightening and helpful. So it is a complicated process. It can't fit on an entire screen unless the entire screen is like that. Let's zoom back in to normal zoom, maybe a little bit bigger. Well, let's just do normal zoom because I think that's actually quite fine. Get all that stuff. So here's what we're doing. DSQ, DSA, DSSU, DSQ, DSI, DSF, DSS, DSU, or DSSU. Sorry, I skipped an S a lot of times I was saying that. And then DSC. So those are the events that we're dealing with. Some of those we actually need to read them out. Some of them we don't. But the way that this code ended up being, I actually feel really good about. So we create a peer, which is just basically passing in an address and then giving it the WebSocket so that it's not dependent on any particular WebSocket implementation. You can basically, there's a read and write method that needs to be set. You know, basic trivial stuff, just adapting from what type of byte array are you using, UN8 array or buffer or, you know, whatever fits your use case. So very trivial there. So we just get the P2P. We do a little bit to make sure that the things that we've selected, so we were passing in inputs and outputs. The inputs are what we've selected. The outputs are just chosen from unused addresses. We create and I need to find out what our actual maximum size is. I think I put that in logs because right now it's way too big. I think it's 4 megabytes and we probably need something closer to 4 kilobytes, but this was from the documentation. But we don't use, for the CoinJoin process, we don't use P2P messages that are 4 megabytes because we're not doing full blocks. We're just doing these that have a maximum of 15 inputs and 15 outputs or something like that. Anyway, so we construct a buffer for the message, we create a subscriber, and then we have this little block for this first process. We pass in signed collateral transactions to be able to broadcast. We pack the DSA message, then we send the DSA message, then we wait for, it could be either, we don't know whether the DSSU or the DSQ is going to come first, so we're waiting for any message. If it's a DSQ, then if it's ready, then we get to go. So if it's not ready, we're going to go back in the loop. If it's ready, we get to break out of the loop. And then the DSSU message will tell us if there's an error, and then we can close out the state. And I forgot to actually propagate the error and show the message on the screen, because there may have been one of those times when I said, oh, the DSSU message didn't go through. It might have been an error. So we actually have code to handle that, but it didn't actually pop up and say, hey, there was a problem, you need to rejoin the session, which we would just do automatically. Like user doesn't need to know that. Developer needs to know that. Developer needs to be aware of what the experience is to some degree. I mean, at some level of development, somebody who's just doing CSS, no, they don't necessarily need to be aware of that. But there's a lot of particulars here that you cannot make all the choices for without pigeonholing it. So this actually, for the most part, is going to be abstracted away. So this is not one of the things, because this is pigeonholed pretty well. I mean, there are some things we might want to have a little bit of change to this, but pretty much this is how the experience works. You know, you don't have a lot of, it's not a choose your own adventure CoinJoin. You choose the inputs, choose output addresses. The process has to run the way the process has to run. It's pretty well specified in that way, and that's a good thing. Anyway, so then we go through the DSI process, we go through the DSF process, and then we get the DSC, and we're done. So this is actually, I would say, very clean, concise, readable code that other developers, and if you look at the internals of this code, which I actually do want to take a minute to do, so that's kind of the outer layer. Let's see where that comes from real quick. So we're getting a list of coins from the coins that are checked. We check a couple of things, that the denominations are correct, that the coins are denominated, mostly error checking, and then we 5 minutes. And then we create the CoinJoin session with a node that we've selected. I call it EVA node just because I don't like the term master node, but it's just a master node. Inputs, outputs, and collaterals. So there's not that, your wallet would be marking these things as it's a pending input, it's a pending output. It's the inputs and outputs used in the collateral would be pending. So your wallet would manage the state of that. That's implementation specific, because different wallets are going to be implemented in different ways, whether it's on mobile, on desktop, on node, or whatever, that sort of thing. So this is all segmented out. Yes, it is more verbose than a lot of code that's shown, but it's a heck of a lot cleaner and simpler, and it's smaller. It's less code to look over. So a lot of my code, it is more verbose. There's more work that you as the developer are making choices on. But the thing is, you either have to make those choices or you can't make those choices. Because when you abstract everything away to the nth degree, then it's like, oh, I really want to be able to send memos for this new protocol I want to invent, or whatever. Well, then you can't make that choice anymore. So there's a level of abstraction, and a lot of this stuff is just like anything that has to deal with storage, that has to do with the wallet, that has to do with like tight implementation details that are going to be way different on mobile or on desktop. You don't want to have to be like working around that and shoehorning things in to make it fit. It's better to say, okay, this is 10 lines of code instead of 5 lines of code, and you have to make some choices, but you get to make the choices. Anyway, that aside, let me go look at the packer and parser. So we have this in 2 libraries. Part of that code is actually going to be moved to one of the libraries, but let's look at P2P. P2P will handle governance objects, proposals, voting, that sort of thing. Well, actually, we don't need that right now for the way we have that implemented. We do that over part of it we do over RPC, part of it we re-implemented the RPC code, but whatever. So then we also have P2P. This is very, very clean and readable code. It's more verbose, but anybody's going to be able to look at this and understand what's going on. So let me get past, so this init WebSocket. This init WebSocket, where'd that go? That was pretty important. So init WebSocket, we could do this with a, what do they call that one? Like IP, global IP, what is it? What's the peer IP, or I don't know. Like basically, you can take any sort of networking abstraction layer, and what's done in this function is a copy, paste, and change a couple of things to however your protocol works to make the connection. But this init WebSocket is doing all the handshake with the version, the VRAC, and the ping and pong. So it's handling all of that stuff. And yeah, this would we want to add this for TCP sockets or whatever. It's a copy paste, change a couple of lines within it, but it's better to copy and paste and change a couple of lines than it is to try to account for every possible scenario. It's always better to have two functions that do similar things, but different things, similar but different, not the same, than to have one function where you're trying to figure out how to handle all the different cases. So we've got to process bytes. I don't need to worry about that. What I wanted to look at was the packer for packing the bytes. So here we go, packers. So let's just take a look at the version one's too complicated. Let's take a look at, this is the core one. Is we're gonna check network size, or what the network is, magic bytes, what the size of the headers and the packet are, and we just go through. That's actually pretty condensed. It's not as condensed as it could be, but it's also perfectly readable. And I need to get some of these comments out of here that may no longer apply probably, but we've got a little alloc if you want to be memory efficient. So for example, if you're writing a server in Node, the way that it allocates becomes important so that you don't explode your memory, but it's also very efficient, like I showed before, that you can pre-allocate a buffer. Okay, so here's the version message. We're going to skip over that because there's just too much minutia in that one. It's the most complicated message. Still, I think that it's pretty readable. I mean, nothing here is crazy. It's just tedious. But let's go look at one of the other messages. So here's Verac. That's what it looks like. Everything calls packers.message. Everything does its own allocation for the buffer. And then you can actually pass in a buffer, like I was doing, if you want to make sure that you're not causing excess garbage collection and that sort of thing. So for people that need that power and control, they even get it in JavaScript. Most people don't need to worry about it. It's automatic. There's our Pong message. It's only slightly more complicated because the Verac is actually an empty message. Pong message actually does pack a single sequence of bytes. But if we look at some of this other stuff like the header, it just goes through, checks things, it checks sizes, packs things together. There's no magic. Everything's one operation per line. Very, very simple. So hopefully that's confidence inspiring. And then we also have the packers. Oh, that's the parser. Was that the part? Oh, this is the header parser. So it's not the header packer, it's the header parser. The header parser is a message. So all this one parses is headers. It doesn't parse any other message types. I might add INV into here, but P2P is basically only the messages that need to be used so that it's kept lightweight and simple. And then the other packers and parsers are in dash join. And so again, I'm just going to scroll through here real quick. So all the packers are named whatever the message is. They're reciprocal. So the packers and the parsers, you can take output from the packer, pass it into the parser. You can take output from the parser, pass it into the packer. Everything's standardized. That same pattern of the name of the command, allocating. There might be, in some cases, that has to do a little bit to determine what the size is to be able to do the allocation, or to make sure that the buffer that's being passed in is big enough. It's using subarrays, so it's memory efficient. You know, there's a little bit of logic in some of these to determine is this flag set on or off, and then it packs the messages and returns the bytes, and that's it. And then DSA, you know, there's a little bit more to it, but not that much more. It's taking a collateral byte sequence, it's packing it in, it's checking, you know. So I don't want to go through all of that. I just wanted to show how clean this code is, how simple it is. If somebody wanted to port this to Python, to Swift, to Rust, to Go, this is a prime piece of code to be porting from. There is no hidden magic, there's no metaprogramming, there's no macro system. It's just straight one operation per line. All of what runs is in the lines here. So here, that's a parser. Do we want to wait? Packer parser, yes. So here's the parser for DSSU. The confusing part is that JavaScript is confusing in that it has a few different types of buffers, and some of them have the same method calls with things swapped in a different order. So offset means something different when you're working with a uint8 array than it does when you're working with a data view, whether it's zero indexed and going to the end, or whether, I mean, not zero indexed, whether it's, well, yeah, even whether it's zero indexed, yeah, offsets and stuff. Anyway, but this is Like, this is as clean as you cannot write it cleaner than this. This could not be more clear. There is no way. Somebody show me a way to make this more clear. You can't. It's one operation per line. I mean, it's not like this is objectively true. It is not possible to write this code in a more clear way. I mean, maybe a name could be changed or something, but it is exactly what it says it is. Nothing more or less. Not everything, especially once we get in the wallet stuff, there's lots of choices there, but for stuff like this that's spec'd, like, chef's kiss. Okay, so now that I'm done tooting my own horn, but I think it's important. I think it's important that people see how simple things can be. No inheritance, no type hierarchies, just POJOs, which stands for plain old Java objects, but the term widely applied, value structs, just value structs. Just plain simple code, nothing fancy. Somebody could look at this code and they can say, oh, this guy codes like he's a moron. He doesn't know how to do the super duper inheritance, blah, 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 blah. That's fine, because most coders are morons. Most people are not that smart, like we don't need everything written by geniuses for geniuses. We need things written for dummies, because this stuff, A, it's hard, and B, coding is hard, and C, people have a hard time learning to code. So, hopefully people don't have to go into this code. But when they do, if there's a change to the spec, if I get hit by a bus, whatever, like, there are some things in here that are a little bit different, like the event stream. That's something that I was testing out. That's not a common pattern in JavaScript. So, I could get a point dinged for using something novel, but I don't know how else to do it right now with the tools that I have. I need a way to write procedural code with an async TCP stream that has messages coming in any order. How do you do that? And these messages don't have standard IDs. So it's not like I send a message with an ID, I get back a message with an ID, and I compare them together. Some of the messages are generic. Some of them have IDs. Some of them use the denomination as the grouping mechanism. Some of them use a session identifier as the grouping mechanism. So there's not a generic way to do that. It is complex. And I found that this was, as far as I can reason, it's the simplest way to present it. Although, yes, it's a little bit different of a pattern. Nobody's seen a stream before because I just created it. It does follow similar conventions to some other things. It's a little bit different. Anyway, so I'm doing my best to make sure that the legacy of this is that it serves that people can port to other languages. This is also much more similar to how it would work in a language like Go or Python. JavaScript is unique in that it doesn't have a listen/stream mechanism. The stream mechanisms that were invented in JavaScript were invented 15 years ago when JavaScript didn't have asynchronous primitives built into it. And so we have a lot of legacy and baggage we carry forward. And I was trying to think, how can I make this fit? Anyway, I'm doing the best that I can. And I believe that I'm doing a good job. And I believe that this is something that's going to provide legacy, as in not legacy in the bad sense like we normally talk about in code, but inheritance for the future. That this is going to be hopefully the golden standard for this is what cryptocurrency code can look like, with its couple of flaws, but that this is what we could have, and this is something that other people can implement. And I have no doubt, because I hear it all the time. People say, "Oh, well, don't you know that you can do this fancy thing? Don't you know you can use this cool trick? Don't you know you could condense this together?" Yeah, I know that, actually. I have been programming for, I think I'm close to 20 years now. Yeah, since I was 18, yeah. So yes, I do know. But I also know that I can't remember what that was like 6 months, 6 months in the future. I can't remember why I did that. And the comments change when the code, or the comments stay the same when the code changes, so they don't describe the accurate state of the code. And, different cool frameworks come out, different cool design patterns come out. You gotta code to the lowest common denominator if it's something that needs to be, secure, interoperable, portable, that a team can work on. And then when you come across something where you need, like, oh, well, it's It's kind of a ninja thing, but if we do this, we can accomplish this problem. Stop, wait and see. But yeah, it might be the right solution. Anyway, so with all that, I'm out. So I hope that we can somehow clip this. So I think there's a couple of bits of goodies in there, especially that one. There was like 10 minutes of the demo. If we could just get that working. You're in for a den, you're in for a dinar. Let me do the demo one more time. No, I'll do it later. We might be able to clip that. I might just do the demo one more time with both browsers open up at the start, so I can get that pool created and have the right amounts in the pool right away, rather than thinking, I'm trying to read these sizes. I think that's the right number of digits, which I probably should have printed it out better to begin with. And then trying to get into the pool of someone else that may or may not actually complete their transaction because somebody's doing testnet stuff with their testnet stuff, Anyway, all of that out of the way. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you enjoy this. Remember to vote yes, both for Dash Incubator, Ryan, Jojo, myself. Also, I am going to be submitting proposals as digital cash dev, and vote yes on those if you like what you see here. This was expensive to develop. This was not cheap, and there's not a lot to show for it yet. But this is going to coalesce, into great developer tooling that other people are going to be able to use. With a few tweaks, this is ready for publish. It needs a little bit of documentation, but it's not far from being ready to publish and present. And somebody can already look at the PR, look at the code. The code that's in there is not going to change much. But the quality software is expensive. Being able to understand the primitives and code to the primitives, not so that everybody else has to code to the primitives, but so that the abstraction can be placed in the right places, so that people need to focus on, yes, they have to focus on the choices for their implementation logic. How are they going to do the storage engine? What network are they going to do? How are they going to use their API? But then they're not locked into, well, this only works this way, so you have to create a workaround. They can focus on what they want to design and build rather than what they have to design and build because of cruft that can get in the way. And so anyway, yeah. Look out for those. And if you like what you see, or if you like the potential, I know it's a developer tool. I know it's ugly. I know that, it's gritty. But if you like this, another 2 weeks of my dedicated effort on this, if I could spend another 2 weeks on this, which is not cheap, but if I could spend another 2 weeks on this, which I think we already kind of have that one voted for, so maybe I'll leave that one aside. But there's some other things that I want to, I want to be able to work on to improve. Some things with the RPC Explorer, some things with the P2P. We don't have a P2P Explorer yet. Anyway, so some of that stuff's going to come up, but I think the thing I want to draw the most attention to is that this is small and iterative. This was a huge project. CoinJoin is a very complex protocol. I think that that's well validated within the developer community within Dash, that CoinJoin is not simple. Otherwise, someone else would have created this already, right? And a lot of the port, from what I've seen in the chat, a lot of the ports that do work with CoinJoin were kind of done blindly without actually having the time to focus to be able to figure out which pieces are connected, just kind of copying chunks of code and crossing fingers that it works. And if it does, move on to the next thing. Whereas this has been a very iterative process. I've written the same, we've written the same code essentially 3 times for this. Not as like a wasteful, like, there's a new practice. No, it's like, well, as you build it, you learn, okay, wait, this is not going to work. This is not somebody else is going to be able to work with. We gotta scale this back. We gotta refine this. It's that process that the actual packer and parser bits have been not entirely rewritten, but heavily refactored a couple of times. So anyway, that is, I hope that the value can be seen here. I hope that what we're doing can be seen. And I hope especially that other developers can see the value in what we're doing, because they're the ones that we're trying to enable to build with digital cash. And I hope that that the masternode owners can see the value of what we're doing here, and that we're doing iterations on these things where we can. And some of the proposal changes, I think that those iterations, at least for me, I know the iterations are going to get tighter, because I'm going to be able to be more intensely focused with a guarantee of what I'm going to put in a proposal for an amount. I know what that amount does for me. I'm going to be able to have a guarantee that I can put intense focus within a certain time frame and build something out like this. Now what you see is not where the money went. It's all the library code, the understanding the protocol, what you see here is there's maybe 10 hours maybe that's been put into the UI. I don't even think that much. You can watch on stream, but anyway. All right, now I'm really gonna go though. I'm really gonna go. So again, catch you later. Adios.